Mooi.
Moi man. How's it going, brother? You
Exactly.
good? How's the
Ye-
2019 lockdown COVID treating you, brother?
Yes, man. I don't even know like how to say it, but it's been shit. But it's been good at the same time, if you know what I mean. Some
Yeah,
alone time, some family time with the missus and his sister and Fritzy. But it's been tough but good, bro.
sure, sure.
Um, I'm sure how it's been like that for everyone, bro. You know, being isolated for 3 weeks is no joke. And I started a week prior just to be safe and pulling my hair out, bro.
Yeah,
Pulling my hair out a little bit.
yeah. I hear you, dude. I also went a week earlier in hopes that I wasn't gonna go home and wait for 3 weeks to be shut down 3 weeks later. But I mean, the sort of gamble kind of paid off, I guess. But I suppose it's tough, man. Off the mats, away from training, waiting fights, and all sorts of stuff. It's not
Hey,
not not easy, man.
no, it's not, bro. And at least I see you've been busy doing podcasts
Yeah,
and trying to keep yourself busy like that, brother. It's
yeah,
good,
yeah.
man.
And everything else we can do, man. It's just been a bit crazy, and it's quite a cool time, I guess. Fighter schedules are always crazy, and guys have got obligations and stuff. So it's a nice time to kind of catch up with people we haven't spoken to in a while, like yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and where that originated was we saw your face pop up on the Aries card, and a lot of the questions we were getting is where is Martin van Staden? What's happening with him? What's the situation with you and the EFC? And then we saw Aries pop up, so maybe a good opportunity to just run us through what's been happening.
No, for sure, man. Yeah, look, I had a fight schedule with Aries for the 3rd of August against Will Brooks. My contract came to an end with EFC towards the end of last year, October, so I decided to just get out the contract. You know, I've been tied into EFC for a long time, and you know, it was a great platform for me to elevate myself and fight a few good international guys. So, you know, I decided just to take a break from them and see where I could find opportunities to fight international guys. And Aries came along, and the fight fell through now. A bit disappointed in that, but you know, just hope that this stuff passes and we can get back in there as soon as possible. And who knows, you know, if EFC has an event and you know, and they've got opportunity for me to fight straight off the bat after this, you know, I'm gonna raise my hand and say, pick me. Let's do this.
Sure.
At any weight, middle, we can fight middleweight, lightweight, or welterweight. I'm down to fight.
Okay. So you basically made the decision to kind of test free agency and see what was going on. Look, Marta, I know before all of the EFC title stuff came along, there was a lot of talk with you. I mean, you had the fight lineup with Dennis Siva overseas and that kind of thing, and it seemed like you kind of gave up those international aspirations to focus on getting that local title. So is that correct? Is that what was going on?
Yeah, look, I won the belt, and you know, EFC pressured me straight away. Like I defended within 4 months. Maybe, you know, I wanted to become champion here before I left. You know, I had the opportunity to fight Dennis, and then it fell through when we were there. And when I came back, I was in a bit of a pickle. I was like, I needed to fight, so you know, I took the fight, got the belt, and I was like, I don't want to sit around and wait. I'll take, you know, a fight against Joe. You know, I need to test myself. Wanted to stay active, and didn't work out. But now, helping Chris, Bellator still something that's on the cards for us. Hopefully, as soon as this lockdown gets lifted and life goes back to a little bit of a norm, we can maybe look at getting onto a Bellator card later the year. But um, really looking to enter the international scene soon. You
Okay.
know, I've got a few years left, and I need to make it count now. So that's what I'm looking forward to most.
Okay, fantastic. You say return to a bit of a norm, whatever norm is left.
Yeah.
How hard has it been? Because I mean, it's after the Joe Cummins fight, it's been quite up in the air for yourself. We've been kind of hanging on, and it's quite sad to be honest. I mean, we're watching masses of guys and highly talented guys like yourself leave the EFC at a time where we could really use it. So how weird has that been now to transition from being a little bit inactive? I mean, you got to go overseas with Chris on her camp, and then now to be hit back again with this whole pandemic.
Yeah, look, it's been a year. Like March marked a year since I last competed against Joe. You know, and I just wanted to take a break after that and just focus on some of the things because it's always been my whole career has been back-to-back fights. You know, maybe it wasn't the right time. You know, I'm not young, but I thought just taking my foot off from competing and just focusing on some of the things I needed to work on. You know, like that's where I put my focus towards. And then Chris came along and we traveled with her, and like I didn't want to take off a year from competing, but it just kind of happened like that. And looking back now, maybe it's a good thing, and I feel it's a good thing, and it's given me new focus and a new hunger. You know, the longer you stay away from competing, the hungrier you get, and the more you want to do it. You know, I remember when I tore my knee. It was only 10 months or 10.5 months before I competed, but the fire to compete then was ridiculous, and I feel the same way now. Turning 38 in February next year, so I'm a no mean youngster, but I still hang with the young guys. You know, I train with top guys in the gym, and I hang with the old dog. Still got some tricks up his sleeve, and I still wanna bang until I'm maybe 40. So
Nice.
it hasn't been ideal being off for a year, but we'll see what happens after this.
Sure. What do you credit that to like still having so many, if we can say, like so much gas still left in the tank, that hunger to compete and the ability to keep up with the youngsters? What do you attribute that to? Like, do you have a very strict diet, or what's the secret?
I'd say they keep me young because stepping on the mats every day is difficult, and everybody wants a piece. And having a coach like Rich, who keeps just keep evolving and keep getting
Yeah.
better, and like that's what fighting is about. That's what's being a fighter is about for me, is like just evolving, getting better. I love what I do at the end of the day. It's not as hard as it is some days to get up and go and train, as sore as I am. I still go, and once I'm done, I feel good about it. You can't give 100% every day, but I try and give 100% every day, and I'm gonna keep doing this until my body's given up. Which we'll see. Maybe 40, we'll see. But until then, just gonna keep going, man.
Well, look, Dan Henderson did it till I think like 43 or so. So it is possible.
I, I think I,
I
I
think
think my
Yoel
wife would
Romero is
knock me
like
out.
69.
Yeah, no, look, I don't think past 40, but yeah, look, I still want to give it a go. It's been 12 years now in the sport, so I think by 40, I'll be 15 years. I would have given it a good run. So I think that's where my head's at, and that's the main focus right now. It's just
Okay.
next fight and
So two
just keep
years.
my head down.
So what is the ideal situation? Let's say by chance, May the 1st, South Africa is kind of starting to ease up on the lockdown, and let's say towards the end of the year, the rest of the world is starting to. Because I know, like for example, the UFC are talking about opening up the Apex completely in Vegas, and they're going to be running with no fans and that kind of thing. And I would presume that once that starts to happen, and there's travel bans and stuff like that, we're going to start to see more of those type of events. So realistically, do you think you could get two fights in still in this year, or are you just hoping on banking
Mm,
on one?
Look, yeah, look, if I can get two in, great. It's all injury dependent.
Yeah.
I can, from where I am right now, I could probably fight at welterweight in 3, 4 weeks, if not sooner. I have been training, not like I should be, but you know, I love fighting. So if I'm 70%, I'll still take a fight. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm just hungry to compete at this stage. Um, so looking to get two fights in would be great, but even one would be good. We don't know how long this thing's going to last with this coronavirus, and uh, I, I hope I hope that things come right soon.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
I think a lot of fighters out there are itching to get in there and itching to fight. I think it's going to be such a backlog with guys wanting to compete after this. So you just need to just raise your hand as soon as possible. Otherwise, you're going to wait till next year.
Yeah, we can have a fighter weekend. I think that's the way it's going to go
Yeah,
now.
yeah, for sure. That yeah, it definitely looks like it.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. So just brief us then on Aries. Is it so we're kind of taking it as it's a one and done kind of thing for now, um, or what's the
Yeah,
scenario?
yeah. Look, they offered me the one fight. Like I said, Bellator was in the pipeline just before this happened, and Aries was sort of like a backup fight for me if things fell through, and it's a fight I confirmed to fight. I was happy to fight Will, being a former Bellator two-time
Yeah, it's a
champion,
great
and
fight.
also
That's
fought in the UFC. Would have been a great fight for me to test myself against, and as a fight that me and Rich looked at, and we definitely thought that we can knock this guy out and beat him. So I was excited to test myself against a guy like that. So we'll see. I spoke to the matchmakers then. They said that they'll keep me in thoughts. Just traveling is going to be an issue now. When are we going to be able to travel? I think if we can travel soon, then then they'll definitely be on a card internationally before the end of the year.
Okay, fantastic. And
Yeah.
is so your preferred option is to get a good name like Will Brooks in at Aries, and then hopefully resume talks with Bellator from there.
Yeah, look, whichever comes first there. I'm just keen to compete, man. Like I said, if this lockdown thing is an issue and we can't travel, then I'll take a fight with EFC, and if I'm able to travel, whichever organization comes along first, I want to compete. Eh?
And maybe Dana can send that private jet this way and pick up a few lads. Head on over to the island.
Yeah, listen. If that happens, it's amazing. But
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to happen. I think this Corona thing has really affected the world in a big way.
for sure.
Let's hope it's not as serious as they're saying it is, and let's I hope hopefully we all get out safe on the other side, and things are better.
100%. Mark,
Yeah,
my last question, you seem quite determined. You've got that exit number at 40, and that's where you kind of want to be. So
yeah.
a twofold question. What's your sort of exit strategy? Will you be punching numbers at FNB after fighting, or what will it be? And how different are your aspirations in MMA since losing your title to Joe Cummins, and having to reassess now where you want to go and what you want to do as opposed to when you had the title?
Yeah, look, you always woulda, coulda, should have done this, should have done that. But I'm happy with the decisions that I've made, and I always look forward. I don't look back. So whatever happens in the next 3 years, I'm focusing on my career and competing, and that's my main job. And that's where my focus is at, and that's where my passion's at. I have been starting to look at things on the side, like I started MVS Power Solutions. It's a generator company that supplies generators, and I had quite a nice deal pending right before this coronavirus happens. But hey, everything happens for a reason, and it's
Damn
given me
fucking
opportunity to
Corona.
look. Yeah, hey, well, these things happen. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are worse off.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure. And then I've looked at some other things as well, which are in the pipeline. I actually just spoke to Gareth right before you called, and we were having the same discussion. He said like you got to have an exit strategy after fighting, and I'm the type of person that obsesses about something. Like it's my life. I do it from when I wake up. I eat, breathe. It's sleep. It's everything is geared towards one thing. And now that I haven't been really able to do that, like I've been veered off from watching fighting and techniques the whole day because I would actually probably go insane, rip doors off because I can't let the frustration out. If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
in a confined space, so. I've been focusing my energies on other things, and I think with this coronavirus happening, it's maybe a small blessing for us all in the skies, and just to look and evaluate things differently in life, and just open our minds and you know
Yeah.
view things from a different angle.
Definitely, man, definitely, and I think
Yeah,
that's been quite a big message to a lot of people is try and see the positives and
yeah,
make hay while the sun shines. I guess is what they say. Hey?
for sure. Listen, we what can we do? We can just let's hope we can just embrace this and learn from it. We stop and not complain and just see bring the good, find the good in it and not the bad.
100%, man.
Yeah.
Mart, thank you so much for your time, buddy. Wish you all the best. Hopefully, it's all over soon and we get to see you competing against a nice big name like Will Brooks. That would be massively exciting. So, hopefully, that all comes to fruition and hopefully, you can get the yayas out in that confined space and feel fresh and stay charged, bro.
For sure. Thanks, brother. Appreciate that. Say
Take
to
it
you, stay
easy.
safe, bro.
You
Thanks
too,
for
Mart.
interview.
Ciao, buddy.
Oh,
Ciao.
cheers, man. Bye.